Welcome, YouTube, to my kitchen job. Well, it's not my kitchen job, it's the customer's kitchen job, but here's the kitchen that is potentially appealing to the DIYers. So you might, or first-time buyers, young people that are buying new homes that want to renovate stuff, here's some things you might come across. So this customer is doing the demo themselves. I'm all for if people want to save money, or you feel handy enough to do something yourself, you are quite safe, guys, ripping plasterboard off the wall, as long as you bear in mind, nowadays, these cables, you know, like someone did tack that there, but this has been moved over for whatever reason. Nowadays, on a modern place, you would see these in trunking capped, okay? But the older the house, you might run into situations where it's not capped and it is quite literally just dangling on the wall. So you see we've got little stuff here which carries 6 amps for lighting. So if like a feed, like a what is this? This is loop in, loop out, but it's like one's going to be up to the switch and the next one's going to be, no, let me work this out. We've got heating, so we've got like 3 core around here to an isolator. Sockets, we've got on 2.5. Down to this socket here, we've got more 2.5 cable. You've got, to put it in perspective, I mean, nobody wants to be playing with electrics unless you know what you're doing. But if you was to touch this, ouch. If you was to touch this, good night. And here's where it gets really dangerous. The big one, this 6mm, you touch this and it's goodbye. So seriously, do not be playing around with your own electrics, guys. You've got, I think that cable, I think 6mm is rated for 40 amps. So I think it'll be 41, 42 amps or something. I'll have to get a chart up. I'll put a chart on screen, but 6mm cable is something like 42 amps, 41 amps, I think. And that'll have like a 40 amp or a something breaker just shy of it, so you don't blow. And then 2.5 cable carries 16 amps, so I'll work with this a lot more. So this is 16 amps, and this is 16 amps. 16 and 16, guys, 32. But then you've got 2.5 and 2.5, which gives you 5mm of conductivity. That's how a ring works. So that leg goes up there, through the ceiling, back down there, into that socket, like a daisy chain. And then it will come down here to this fridge, back up and back around, and to that socket, and then up, and then back down there. You get the gist. Basically, let's give you a breakdown of this kitchen. Right, guys, so this kitchen, customers started ripping out. I've given you like some tips there. Haven't finished giving you tips, have I? Because I've just noticed something else that you guys are going to have to cross if you started doing your own kitchens. Water. When you play with radiators, if you was to take a radiator off the wall as a DIYer, if you turn off the TRV, the thermostat control, if you then turn off the lock shield and wind that all the way closed, that will also close that valve. But then you still have a lot of water in that radiator. You're still not safe yet. It doesn't really matter what you do, at some point you've got to drop water. Whether that be on your nice new floor, or whether somehow you can control it with a drain down valve, or whether you could control it with some cards and into a bucket. Either way, don't ever think you can change a radiator without getting wet. If there's water involved, you will get wet. There will be some kind of drip, spill, leakage that you will have to deal with, and a bridge that you will have to cross. But yeah, so with this kitchen, we are going to get these pipes into the wall, hide them, make that light nice and neat. I believe, I should have brought plans with me, but I believe this radiator is going to, well, yeah, that radiator is definitely going to disappear and reappear down here where this fridge is. The fridge is then going to go over there, and then we're going to have loads and loads of cupboards across here. And I think there might be more cupboards across there. I need to speak with the customer whether we're going to change this window surround and change the window up a bit. And we've got a water softener to go in. This is some press fit. Here we go, we've got loads of fittings going on here. So we've got some press fit fittings, very nice, I like to see them. I believe this is the main isolation, yeah it is. This is the main isolation tap after the actual stopcock that can't move. Then we've got like stuff like this, which is compression. And then just, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's shed some light on the situation. See how this is going, yeah. So in here, guys, we've got some real nice soldering. We've got some press fittings. These go in a gun and it clamps really, really, really tight. So the benefit of the press fittings is you can do it with water in the pipes, because once that's clamped, that's it, that's sealed, that's never coming undone. Compression, you don't really want to do it with water in the pipes, but you could if you've got 2-bar mains, it's not happening. But if you had like a little leak or a little bit of water in there, you'd be all right. And then over here, we've got like soldering. So these are like pre-soldered fittings. Because under the kitchen sink is an absolute nightmare, guys. Then we've got our earth strap to the hot and to the cold, so that all the copper in the house is earthed. And yeah, at some point this cupboard will be coming out. This appliance will need to come out and be moving. I should think we're going to move some sockets, get the Sparky in to move some sockets, and you guys love to see it. We've got this entire room to plaster. So I'll try and break it down, so that if you was a DIY, I'll try and tackle it, and I'll try and explain mixing up and different things like that. Yeah, and I'll just try and educate you guys on all the bridges. 1, that you could come up against, and 2, if you come up against them, how you cross those bridges. Because this is how I'm knowledgeable. I've had to fit the kitchens, had the problems, and had to get over them. And this is where my knowledge of electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and all-round building knowledge comes in. You know, the plastering, dot and dabbing, keeping rooms square, keeping things true, just all round how to do a really professional, proper build. Not half-hearting it, not putting stud work up in front of walls, not cutting corners. Just want to educate you guys on proper building, traditional proper building. You know, nowadays houses have got like metal stud work, maybe timber stud work. Things are like 600 centres. You just lean on your wall and you'll see your wall flex. Whereas these, very solid walls, very solid buildings. Looking at the walls, they are very much out of plumb, but that is not going to stop me. I don't like the dark. Anyway, we are in the loft, and that thing's flashing. Why is that thing flashing? There we go, that's a bit better. I've got this madman of a torch. Does it go any wider? No, it'll go to like a little dot like that, and it will quite literally light up anything that I want it to perfectly. Or we open it up and we can see exactly where we're going at all times. So anyway, the most important thing that I need to know before I do anything is how to isolate this system and what system it is. So you join me in the loft to discover we have a vented system. So you've got unvented, which means pressurized, and unvented, which means it's not pressurised, it's gravity fed, aka a big old tank in the loft. And it's what I'm looking for is, so if I work backwards, here we go, we've got a filling loop on a ball valve. So look, if I go, I can't do it for you. Basically we fill up and then through that pipe down there, I assume that feeds the cold down to the boiler, and then the boiler supplies the hot and everything else for the shower. I don't know why we've got two. I will text my dear friend John Guest, the plumber, and we'll report back to you guys and we'll let you know what's going on. Right then, guys. Sorry, I don't want to give away too much of the customer's belongings, But here we go, we've found the drop because we are down below, and it's this one, this side. We've turned that off, and now this is going to stop that tank upstairs unloading and basically filling this tank up and also going downstairs to the tap. So now once I open up the tap downstairs, the water should stop running pretty quick. So yeah, there we go, guys. Once the cold tank in the loft is isolated, it's just literally what's left in the pipe that's draining down. I've also isolated under here on that stopcock, but there's obviously the hot tank, that big immersion hot tank. I need to learn how to isolate as well. Yeah. So this, guys, is a nice drain cock. That's been changed, isn't it? God, look at the extension on that buoy. Woo. Anyway, we can get a nice hose pipe on that, and then we can go straight out the front door, and that'll drain our system down. Welcome back, YouTube. Recognise this? It's the day we're going to start. So the customer has saved myself and themselves a lot of work by doing the rip out. I am politely a busy man, and they wanted to help more than anything, I think. So they've got stuck in and done like the demo work. So briefly, when we come and had a look, I mentioned all the things you need to worry about. So let's have a look around, DIYers. So let's take this wall over here, for example. You start pulling plasterboard off here and knocking hammers through. You could hit that, you could hit that. Note how cable should always run in straight lines, either vertically or horizontally, but you can't guarantee it. Stuff like cooker cable, like that was on the outside, so that's not really that much of a big worry, but some people do tuck it in the wall. Next thing you know, you don't see it, it's not there. Or look like that. Naughty, naughty. That's not running vertically. I mean, I'm assuming that was originally here or something, or somewhere down there, and now someone's moved it to here. But yeah, you cannot guarantee anything. You have to take everything with caution and a little bit of risk. But today's objective is this radiator. So this is something you might come across when you move into your first house or when you buy a house to renovate. So I have, say hello to Annie, you guys. Annie, down you go. Good girl. So we've been in here, you can't see, I've isolated the water. I've opened up the cold to drain the cold down, and I've been draining the hot, and with the water off, the tank's not filling. Let's go through some of the things that I, not necessarily stock on the van, but I carry in case of an emergency. So we've got 221 Wagos, 3-ways, 6 mils for like oven connections, like up to 6 mil, 4 to 6 mil, and then you've got the 2.5 to 4 mil, or 3 mil of that. We have the rather expensive inline Wagos. So a bit of context, guys, if you're a DIY and you call out a Sparky, don't get me wrong, sleeving, probably a couple of pence, a box of 100 of these, probably £5–10. But these kinds of Wagos, especially these, and definitely these, any time you see an electrician use one of these, he's spending about £1.50. And any time you see an electrician use one of these, he's spending about 80 pence, and he's charging you £30 for the hour to wire it up, if not 45. It's as long as it is broad. You can't really say, oh, use the blocks or use the Wagos. I have both, just in case. You know, if I don't want to go spending £1.50 in a wall and I want to connect a cable, put it in a box, put it in one of them, sleeve it up with some neat 2 mil, label it. If I need to label it, what's neutral and what's live, if it's the old school wiring. And then over here, I carry loads of random stuff from olives, PTFE, 22 cup links if I have to join pipes, reducers, and then these lovely John Guest push fits. So I'll tell you what, today, we might need some of these. We are definitely going to need some of these. I might even use ball valve things. Oh, and this is another thing. This there's no like rules or regs to this, right? as much as the supplier knows what these cost, the fitter, the plumber, the engineer knows how useful these are. So like, each to their own. These are both the same valve, except this one's got a tap on it that I can grab if I need to isolate something quick, and this one I need a screwdriver. So if it's like a serviceable area, like around your boiler, where you ain't going to be playing with it unless you are servicing it or knowing what you're doing, I fit these. But if it's like the back of a toilet or under your kitchen, where anyone might want to isolate it, I use stuff like this. It's just so much more convenient. Saves the plumber, the fitter, the electrician, the carpenter, anyone that wants to isolate the water quick, saves time using these over using these. So, looks like we're near enough drained down. So let's go and drain some radiators. So, in the customer's house here, let's see if I can put some light on the situation. That didn't do much. Right, we have exposed copper pipes here. Here's the drop, and then we've teed off, and we've gone around the back through the wall there, and that, I believe, is where we come out there. So we're going to drain this rad and get rid of the plumbing for this rad. Right, so in order to drain this down, I now need to undo one of these valves. You'll commonly find these near a door, and then I'm just plumbing up from all the way over there, down through here, and out the door. Right, let's slowly open the valve. That was only finger tight. Right then guys, another cool thing that you might need: 10mm microbore, 15mm copper, 9mm like microbore and oil, and 22. Guess which one I use a lot? Simply put that around there, like so. And there should be very little in this, but it's still going to get a bit. And that's how quick the water's going to drop. Bit of an awkward one here. Yes, nipped it, boy. Gently, gently. Oh, I'll have that back, thanks. Away. Good go. Right. Make a bit of a neater attempt at this, since there's no drain valve. Come with me, pal. Right. It. Ah, right. So while this all drains down, I've just got to sit here and wait, really. Got to make sure that all disappears out of the house. Then we can start chopping these pipes about. There's a hell of a lot involved, really, to just being able to be a carpenter that can fit a kitchen, or a builder. Let's give it a better term. I'm more of a builder carpenter than a carpenter because with the name construction, carpentry and construction, I get involved in anything. Doing stuff like this in your house, I mean, it's highly not recommended, and if you can avoid it, aim to avoid it. But I will say, if it happens, don't stress, don't panic, getting things wet is not good. It's definitely not good. It's definitely not recommended. But getting things wet is not what damages and stuff, depending on what it is. Context, depending on what it is. It's when stuff lays wet, like plaster, when chalk lays wet, when plaster lays wet, it breaks down. That is what, I'll finish what I was saying. That is what then becomes dangerous, things laying damp. So like when I hit that heating pipe last month, annoying, I did check, I looked down and I looked under, but I politely, it's not I haven't got the time or this, that and the other, it's I work in a domestic market, so I've got to justify to say you, the customer, you, the DIYer, why the job is worth X. If you want to pay me a lot for the day, I'll lift the boards. If you want a quick fix, I'll warn you of the risks and I'll run the risks. Not 9 times out of 10, you're not going to hit a pipe, but tongue groove flooring is from a traditional place, and I can't say I got unlucky because it should have looked better, but complacency, is that the word? I just got a bit complacent, and I get complacent because I'm obviously gifted enough and talented enough to get myself out of any hole, any situation. There's no situation I could put myself in where the day is done and I'm finished. Touch wood, he says as he goes for a gas main. Annie, not for you. All right, I'm going to screw this back and just let that balance out for a mo. Then we can drain this bucket. You know, I wouldn't want to fit the bill, but if I was in a stately home and I dropped 200 litres of water over the ceiling, I'm fitting the bill, I'll pay for the materials, and I'll be back there for the next week putting it right. I'm talented enough to do that. I personally don't get myself involved in those situations, but yeah, I'm waffling. Hello, princess. Yeah, not on the lips whilst we're on camera. Damn, wife would be jealous. Let this glug along for a little bit more, and then we'll go to the other end. But the trouble is, when I do the other end, this end will probably drop some more. Annie, they don't want to see your bum, all right? You got your bum on camera. It's not a good look, Annie, what have you done to get your paws so mucky? Don't ignore me, Annie. I'm watching you. While this drains down, I feel like I want to try and help everybody understand everyone. So situations like this, if I was just a plumber and you was paying a plumber to change the rads, there's different methods you could do this in. But I need to know the system's empty, so I'm draining the system down. Because I'm actually playing around with the actual ring. This radiator is not staying here, it's moving somewhere else. It's not the same as changing a radiator. So if you're asking a plumber to change a radiator, this situation doesn't apply. But to give you guys, as DIYers, some context from a tradie's perspective, a tradie can't make this gravity stuff happen any faster than it happens. You might be able to put a wet vac on here and speed it up slightly, but essentially, when it comes to you paying a tradie to do a job, you're not necessarily always paying him for his skill. It's mostly his time, how long it takes to do something, and the cost in like tools and knowledge that it takes to do something. This takes forever, man. So this series of me doing this kitchen fit, I'm just going to I don't want to be encouraging you to be doing your plumbing, but I'm going to show you like what you're going to come up against when you decide to get tradies in to do your kitchen, and try and help you understand how easy things can go wrong for us as tradies, and hopefully giving you guys a bit of context on the tradies side of life as DIYers, as well as sort of like how-tos. Hopefully you can appreciate the stresses and the time and knowledge tradies go through, and that's why they ask for the money. Right, let's try and do this up a bit. Let's get rid of this. All right, and boys and girls, we've just undone the other end. There we go. Time for the rad to go, just to make sure So, if you just see the very bottom of that radiator drain down, this is not what you want to see in a system. This is very bad for the system. It's going to leak some more when that drops. Put that there. There's that bit of pipe. Now let's have this bit of pipe. Right, there we go, there's that. It's these two bits. All right, I'm going to leave them there for a little bit. Evening, guys. Right, that is where I'm going to end the episode for today. I have so much information to give, but like these videos just get so long. Hopefully you don't miss anything. You play it in whatever speed you want, but yeah, I appreciate most of you guys probably play them in fast forward because there's the odd bit of waffle in there. I am trying to bring up Michael Johnson's comment. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Right, pinned the comment, Michael Johnson. So Michael Johnson has given us a riddle. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a big one, Elon Musk has a small one, and Adele hasn't got one. What am I? If you think you know the answer, or if you've seen the answer, comment below. If you want some more time, pause the video. And if not, here comes the answer. So the answer to Arnold Schwarzenegger has a big one, Elon Musk has a small one, and Adele doesn't have one. What am I? The answer is a surname. Good little riddle, that. Good little brain teaser. Like that. How are you guys? Comment below. Hope you guys are well. I am feeling like I'm boring you with so much information. If I am, comment below. But some of you guys love the information, and I want to continue to feed you guys the information so that you've got all your context that you need. Loving the engagement. Thank you guys for smashing that like button, and thank you guys for watching this far. If you're watching this far, you guys make it all worth it. We've crossed 500 subs. We've slowed down a little bit on our way to 1,000, but yeah, we're still well on our way to 1,000. What do you guys want to see us do at 1,000 subs? What do you guys... Should we do like a special episode? I'm thinking about doing some lives. I'm now in my kitchen, and I could do some lives with you, but without you guys commenting below and getting engaged, I don't know what to do. So any feedback, criticism, call me out on anything, pick me up on things, ask if you don't understand anything. There is no such thing as a silly question. I am here to be educated if you guys want to educate me, and to educate you guys and help you guys understand life as a tradie and like all our little ins and outs, so that if you want to ever go at jobs, you can. But please, 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 just get plumbers and sparks in. Definitely sparks to play with electric. Plumbing, you can make a lot of mess and flood places, which is pretty dangerous, but you know, as long as you've got your armbands on, or you can swim, or you know how to turn the water off, you're all right, as long as you're not playing with hot water from the boiler. You can't really dig too many holes with plumbing, I don't think. But I'm naive to say that because I'm not a plumber by day. You know, if you're just changing changing taps is changing taps. But anyway, I digress. I'm waffling. Playing with electrics, don't do it. Just call an electrician. I'll help you understand electrics if you was pulling stuff apart and you were like, oh, there's a big thick cable here. Don't touch. The bigger the cable, the bigger the risk. So don't touch big cables. It's not worth it. Just get an electrician in. I just want to give you guys context and help you guys understand things when it comes to the plumbing and electrics. Happily teach you about the carpentry, the things that I'm qualified in, and you know, I've sort of got a fair amount to stand on. But yeah, plumbing and electric, just get plumbers and sparks in. Yeah, I think that's it. If not, I'm going to waffle on. So yeah, guys, I've been Charlie. This has been CP Carpentry. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.